Greg, I'm serious. I do not believe that people can learn anything that they retain in just 90 seconds. Why do you think this short form learning is going to work?
All right, well, the biggest reason I think short form is going to be a massive success for people is because society has already trained us, all of us have been trained to look at short form content, look at reels, look at shorts. I mean, I watched my father, who's in his mid 70s, he will literally sit there and watch shorts for hours because it stimulates the brain in a short-term, dopamine response to something you're looking for. And then once your brain starts moving on it, because it gets the hit of what you're looking for and what you're desiring, and then you kind of throttle through. Not you don't throttle back, you throttle up, and you want to get more content along that line. So
Okay.
that's why I
But
think you can do it.
okay, so you're saying that we've been trained by TikTok and Instagram and Facebook to like these short content pieces. But tell me, what's the last TikTok you remember watching?
Last TikTok I remember watching was this morning about doing different style of push-ups and what's it going to do for my arms. And I remember looking at it, and I actually watched it 3 times because I was like, no. And then I tried it, and I was like, oh yes. So yeah, this morning actually, and that's not a joke. So
Okay.
you're trying to get me. You're trying to stump me, weren't you?
I'm not trying to stump you. I'm just trying to tell you that I don't think so. In our industry, let's get away from exercise and stuff that really is only 90 seconds, right? Where it's a sprint. In our industry, where you have to meet and greet people and you have to learn to basically bring them into the fold, and then you have to educate them along the way. You have to make sure that you're staying educated, and then you have to complete the transaction, close, and follow through. I'm not sure that I believe you can learn those things in 90 seconds.
Well, you're not going to learn all that in 90 seconds. There's going to be multiple series of 90
Sure.
seconds. It's the whole adage is the idea is when you watch a reel or a short, you're not trying to read the encyclopedia and understand every verb, every word in the human language. You're looking at one subject matter for a very concise amount of time, and that amount of time is going to exist. So you're concentrated. So you have a dedicated 60, 90 seconds, whatever it's going to be for you to be like, okay, I'm going to learn about blah. And then you're like, oh, I liked blah.
Wait,
I'm going to learn the next blah.
Hold up. We're going to break this down a little bit more. You are by far one of the best cold callers in the industry, period. Hard stop.
Thank you.
Give me a 90-second tutorial on cold calling. Wait.
You might love it. You might hate it, but here's how you're going to do it. You're going to identify who you are, where you're from, why you're calling, and then you're going to try to do everything you can to make a friend with them. Let me give you an example. My name is Greg. I'm with said real estate brokerage. Have you thought about selling your home? There's your 90 seconds. And then people are like, well, what do you say? And then my lead in would be like, if you'd like to learn more, click the next video to learn the exact scripts. Oh, follow the daisy train, right?
And okay, so basically you're feeding them the first step, and then you're following into that, but you do actually have a script. So it's more than the 90 seconds. It's bringing the 90 seconds into something that they want more stuff.
Right. And that's the whole premise of micro learning, is that in long form and micro learning, you have to have an interest in the subject matter. Like you and I would go to a real estate convention because we want to learn something new, a takeaway, that one thing. I used to go through a thing called Star Power with Howard Britton when he was alive. Every day they would break it down. Every session you went to, your top 5 things. At the end of the conference, give me your top 4 things with the 5 action items. Consolidate that down. That was your one thing per quarter you were going to implement. So ultimately, it's always about the one thing. I mean, Gary Keller wrote the book called The One Thing. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
What's the one thing?
You're focusing on the one aspect that you're trying to learn. It's going to be a variety pack. If it's how to do the best knot, if you're out at sea and you want to tie your boat up, maybe it could be the one thing I have, make the best birthday cake for your 3-year-old. It doesn't matter. It's all about learning one skill at a time. The rate of you remembering it goes through the roof versus long form, because your brain isn't concentrating on 10 different concepts or topics or anything else. It's one thing. You master the one concept. You're like, oh, either that's interesting or not interesting. You make a decision. If it's interesting, you move forward to the next one. But the stack of learning that we're talking about is you start at a certain level and then you build and you build and you build and you build, and it makes itself into a relevant long form piece of content, but you're learning as step by step goes. So you wake up in the morning, you have a cup of coffee, and you're sitting there and you have 60 seconds, 90 seconds to learn one thing for that day. Then there's a follow-up format of 3 things to remember or put into action every single day off that 160-second. Write it down, implement it. Here's a script, here, try blah, whatever the scenario is, right? But that is the one thing for that day. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, how could you possibly learn? Well, guys, it's because you're not trying to take in the whole encyclopedia. You're not trying to be a master of the entire process in one sitting. One concept at a time that builds incrementally on top of each other like Legos. Ultimately, each of those pieces builds the image that you bought on the front of the box. And the image on the front of the box for us is success in real estate. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you?
Sure. That makes sense. So basically what you're saying to me is it is efficient, right? Because we're 90 seconds, we're actually learning something. I'm going to argue the knowledge retention. I think some people will retain that in 90 seconds. I think some people won't. I want to talk a second about daily habits, because I do think 90 seconds, if I could just remember those things, that it would really structure me through that. But I'm just a little bit stuck on the skills part of it. And, if what you're saying is that 90 seconds leads to 10 minutes, leads to 20, why am I just not doing the 20-minute training?
Well, there's different
Real
learning
question.
styles. Now, long form and micro learning, they both have their places. So if you want to fully, really deeply understand a subject matter, and you really want to get deep in the weeds, long form is probably going to be your place, but your learning style, but your retention is going to go through the freaking floor. I mean, it's not even a discussion point. I mean, your micro learning allows your brain to absorb a single content piece, right? So imagine if you're going to do long-term versus short-term retention values, you're 55% retention on long-term, but you're 85% on micro learning retention. I'll take that extra 30% if I can do it one bite at a time. Wouldn't you? I mean, come on, this makes logical sense, but it fights the rational brain because we're all like, oh my God, we've always been taught to learn this way. We have to sit in class for 8 hours. We have to go to a seminar for a full weekend. Long form learning is the way to go. No, it's not. Not with today's day and age. We're mobile up our yin yangs. We have mobile phones. We have laptops. We have tablets. We have everything you need to learn anywhere on the earth, one bite at a time. But here, let me ask you this. Why are you so in favor of long form?
So I'm a long form learner. I need the ability to go back and analyze it because I always have these questions that go with it. However, I'm going to talk a little bit about what you and I came up with yesterday.
Sure.
And that is this phase 2 of the micro learning process. And it does talk and it speaks to me a lot. And just so you guys know, we did a AI discussion about what is the primary difference between long form and short form. And we decided that Greg was going to take one side of this and I was going to take the other. But I really grabbed onto the fact that long form learning, information begins competing for memory. And I think this is very, very true. The flip side of that is repetition strengthens memory. So it's, if you think about TikTok, they kind of replay the same videos over and over again when they come to ads. So you see the same ad until all of a sudden it's like, I need a whatchamahoo's thingy so that I can survive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 80% of sales are done between the 5th and the 12th contact, aka the 5th and the 12th repetition. So imagine if you can memorize things. And like I was watching a YouTube video on my, by the way, I almost did almost 7 miles this morning. So pretty proud of it. My feet are killing me, but it's neither here nor there. But I was listening to this video about subject matter, and the lady who was talking on the video, I went back like a couple of minutes, like every couple of minutes, just to re-listen to it because it was an hour-long video. But I was like, oh, this is a perfect example to bring up to Michael, because if she had done bite-size, micro learning on that, I would have picked it up super fast, because I was trying to retain everything else she was saying in the video about the rest of the content. And I was like, gosh, damn it. I just need this one phrase. What the is it? And I finally got it. And I was like, oh, that's what I've been looking for. So that's my argument. But I'm also ADHD and dyslexic. So for me, I mean, micro learning is an accomplishment at my subcore, rational brain or irrational brain going, hey, look, Greg, you're ADHD and you're dyslexic. You can handle this. This is not a problem. You don't have to read the whole book in front of the class. You can do it in one sentence. And I'm like, I can do one sentence. I can do 60 seconds. So I accomplished something. And for me, that's a big thing. Don't make any jokes.
All right. Now, I guess the next part of that, and we did talk about this, is you do have the ability to reinforce things differently in 90 seconds. I think one of the advantages of micro learning is I can watch 90 seconds every day for a week and not have killed 2.5 hours.
Right.
Exactly.
And
that does reinforce those tasks. And I think this really applies to things like cold calling. Do this. It's Monday. Do this. It's Tuesday. Do this. And it might be the same thing I want you to do on Monday, but the reality of it is, if it's cold calling, do it every day.
Do it every day.
Right.
Do a form of prospecting, cold calling, door knocking, content creation, videos, doesn't matter. Do something every day. And if you're like, Greg, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to start, learn one thing. Get curious about that one thing and say, oh, what would make this easier? Ooh, what if I did this next one thing? And then all of a sudden, you're a week deep. You have 7 things all funneling towards your North Star, aka the issue that you were coming up against, whatever that is, right? Or whatever you're trying to learn. Now you have 7 working principles in 1 week that you are fully confident on, because you've been able to master them in a day per topic. You're literally 7 times more smarter. Great English, Greg. Great English. No wonder I don't write or read anything.
That'll pop up on CapCut.
Did he mean to say that? But it really will make you more intelligent. And I'm going to keep butchering the English language right now.
Don't worry about it, because the next one I'm gonna feed you some other stuff. And for those of you that are kind of on the fence of micro learning versus long form, I'm going to discuss a problem that I run into all the time. When I listen to a 20-minute training session, I often find that when they get to a part that I feel like I am good at or better than what I am getting, I fade out. Whereas in short form learning, you build momentum throughout the period of time that you're learning, right? One thing can stack on another, but it can easily fall back. And if you're getting 90 seconds again, it takes me 90 seconds to click in and realize that, hey, I already heard this, right? Now I'm remembering it, and away we go. And I think that there are specific topics. I think that this micro learning applies better to some things than others. But I think for those of you that are watching this, you're probably interested in real estate. I think it is absolutely the best way to learn real estate tools, technologies, structure, because what it does, and I'll use Greg's example of cold calling, is it gives you a piece that just do this one thing. Just do exactly what I'm telling you to do, 90 seconds long, run with it. Don't worry about anything else. Don't get caught up in the minutia. Don't get worried about the rejection. Don't get worried about the technology. And this is where, Greg, I do believe that this micro learning kicks off, right? If you're a doctor and you're practicing surgery, please read the whole book.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
I don't want you to get me cut open and go, wait, gotta come back tomorrow for the next 90 seconds.
I haven't had my second one piece of knowledge yet. Damn it. So you're doing a lung surgery. Yeah, and there's 2 of them. I should probably learn about the other lung. It's like, oh Lord. But then you have a very valid point there, and that's what I said originally in the beginning of the video, is that long form is incredibly good for a super deep dive on a subject matter, but retention is going to be the bigger problem. I mean, for myself, I will grasp at straws to get one piece or get after that one thing that I'm truly trying to understand. And if I have 10 or more or whatever the amount is of other subject matter pieces that are in that book, in that video, in that white paper, whatever, then you know what? I'm not going to hold down the one thing I really listened to because I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about this. And what about that? Oh, shoot. What about fill in the blank? That's why I rewound the YouTube video like 5 times, because I wanted to hear this one phrase, and I finally got it. And it took me a minute, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder how many other people are going through this right now. Because especially on the real estate test or your broker's test, or understanding new disclosures, anything that's going to affect your life, you know what? Why don't you learn it in microdoses versus trying to deep dive on it and just being completely overwhelmed by a subject matter you may or may not be 100% comfortable with? I mean, Michael, when you and I first got it in, man, I am phenomenal on language today. Good gosh. When we first started shooting videos, shut up, dude. I heard it too. I heard it too. Anyways, we did not have the microphones, the poise in front of the camera, the different stupid little techniques on breathing that you can do right before your camera turns on. None of these little tricks did you learn in a mass, educational sit down. It was trial and error, ups and downs, and I had a problem, so I looked for the solution and I fixed it. And you, Michael, actually, you are the catalyst for this. You taught me when we were filming a trick that I have taught around the world, and it's this: when you're going to do camera work, you, instead of going, hi, this is Greg McDaniel with blah 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 Realty, blah blah blah, you do this. You do a simple inhale prior to the camera going on. So you do this: hi everybody, welcome today to today's video, instead of hi everybody. It's a huge difference. It's a small little tweak, but it's a massive win for the audience, and ultimately you're doing it for them. Like the person talking to you through the training, that's micro training, they're doing it for you so you can retain it. So at this point, learn, but do it. It's okay to do it in small bites. If you do 2 little small bites a day, you are crushing it. Michael, I've told you about the 2-day rule, right?
No.
Yeah. I've never told you about the 2-day rule.
Is there a 2-day rule?
The 2-day rule is a very interesting thing. It's not about dating. What it is, it's about, habit forming and learning. So let's say you wanted to start running, jogging, picking up underwater basket weaving. Don't care. But you know what? You have to start, and you're going to feel clumsy. You're going to feel uneducated. You're going to feel silly because you don't know what you're doing. But if you start today and then you do it again tomorrow, then you do it the next day. Oops, then life happened. I need to take a day off. And then you start talking to yourself and saying, well, I can take the next day off. It's no big deal. That's the 2-day rule. If you go more than 2 days without, doing a certain action, aka learning or moving forward in some aspect of life, you've immediately hit the reverse button. And now you're actually in, retrograde, degrading your brain, and all you have to do is just sit down, or get up and go for a walk, or pick up a book and read one sentence, one page, whatever it is. You cannot go 2 days without doing it. And that's why I love micro learning. I can say to you, Michael, I can't read that whole chapter today. It's too much. I don't have time. Can you read one sentence? I can read one sentence.
Makes sense. Okay. So Greg, we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to give you a test.
Oh gosh.
Okay. I'm going to give you 2 statements, and I want you to tell me which is best using micro learning. Okay.
Okay.
Statement number 1, excellent for reference materials. Statement number 2, excellent for behavioral conditioning.
2.
2, you are correct. Best for I caught whatever you have. Best for advanced study, or best for consistent execution.
Consistent execution.
Okay. less likely to become a daily habit, or easily becomes part of a routine?
Easily becomes part of a routine.
Okay, so Greg, looking at those, which ones are better for real estate agents?
That's a trick question. I would say both.
Okay,
Long
good.
form to go deep dive into the content matter, and then micro learning after you get a baseline. It's like a foundation of a home, right? Get the foundation, build up the knowledge, and then build out the specifics in regards to how many bed and baths do you want to in the house, how many different compartments do you want to learn about in that one subject matter.
Okay.
How big or how small do you want to go on that point?
Nope, I think you nailed it. Greg, in the interest of micro learning, we had talked about getting this done in 20 minutes so that while you're driving to work, you could listen to this. Thank you, everyone. Greg, take us home.
All right, guys and gals, thanks for hanging out with us. You know what? If you like that, get a hold of Michael or myself. And Michael, where is your favorite email? Where does that live? Where do you answer emails?
I answer email everywhere. I take phone calls and smoke signals, but you can send me an email at michael@regeeks.com.
Great. You hit Greg at regeeks.com. Guys, hit us up. We want to hear what you got going on. We got a bet between the two of us. We'll see who wins. We love you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay micro learning. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
What's the bet?
Oh, shush.